All right, well, it's election day in many suburbs, and it is a big one. Sandra Torres is live for us at one we've been watching for quite a while in Dolton. Sandra, what's the latest there?
Well, we know that the race here for mayor in Dolton has been heating up for months, especially due to the current mayor, Tiffany Haddiard. She's been under investigation, being accused of misusing village funds. So now her name will soon come down from the municipal building as two candidates are running to unseat her, essentially. And this morning we talked to some voters, and this is how they're feeling as they head to the polls.
I came out because we have to affect change in Dolton, and it's very important. I was actually traveling and forgot today was election day, and I saw you guys on the news, so I had to run over here and cast my vote.
We visited Lincoln Elementary here in Dolton, one of the polling sites for the village, and that's where Democratic mayoral candidate Jason House casted his vote today. He won the primary with 88% of the vote, defeating incumbent Mayor Tiffany Haddiard. House is running against independent candidate Cassandra Hobson Jordan. We reached out to her for comment today, but did not get a response yet. But House did talk to us. He said that he hopes Dolton residents show up in force on this election day.
I would love to see more people than the primary. The early results are showing that it's slightly below the primary, but I still think we're going to have a good turnout, and I think Dalton's going to turn out bigger than most communities.
Now, we're also following the race for Thornton Township supervisor today. Haddiard is currently in that role, and while voters will not see her name on the ballot, she still plans to be a part of the race as a write-in candidate. The Democratic candidate in this race is State Senator and Democratic Party Committeeman Napoleon Harris. He won the township's Democratic Party caucus just a few months ago. So Harris is running against several other candidates, including Republican Richard Nolan. So polls close at 7 p.m. tonight, and we'll be following developments throughout the day. Reporting live in Dolton, Sandra Torres, NBC 5 News.
Sandra, thank you. Some other key races we're watching in South Suburban Orland Park. Incumbent Mayor Keith Pekow is facing a tough challenge from Republican Jim Dodge. And then in Aurora, Republican Mayor Richard Irvin cast his vote today. He faces Alderman John Lash, who has support from the State Democratic Party. We'll have all of the election results online as well as on air tonight at 10 o'clock.
It is also Election Day today in many Chicago suburbs. Voters are going to the polls to pick mayors, county officials, and school board members all across the area.
Yeah, it is not a big day in Illinois. It's crucial, and also not just in Illinois. The Supreme Court in Wisconsin has a really big race that's actually receiving national attention. Political reporter Marianne Ahern here now with the very latest. So much going on.
There is a lot going on today. Good afternoon to you. We are watching several heated races. Let's start with Arlington Heights. One of the candidates, Jim Tenalia, voted this morning. He's a trustee of Arlington Heights and has received the endorsement of the outgoing mayor, Tom Hayes. Also on the ballot, John Riddler and Tom Schwingback. The big issue, what if the Chicago Bears relocate to the old Arlington Heights racetrack, and how will the new mayor handle that huge project? In the south suburbs, Orland Park Mayor Keith Pekow faces a challenge from a former neighbor and a former friend, Jim Dodge. It's been a nasty personal fight with robo-attack calls from both sides. It is viewed as business versus labor. Pekow has business support. Dodge is a favorite of several unions. Also, we will be keeping an eye tonight on what happens in Aurora. Incumbent Richard Irvin is in a rematch with Aurora Alderman John Lash. The state Democratic Party, led by Governor J.B. Pritzker, has gotten involved in trying to oust Irvin. Irvin, as you might recall, ran and lost in the GOP primary for governor in 2022.
Yeah, and that was a race that would have pitted him against Pritzker.
Right.
All right, so now the big race in Wisconsin. What are you hearing about the Supreme Court race?
Well, all eyes on that one, because this will end up being the most expensive judicial race ever in the country. There are questions about Elon Musk and his PAC offering today $50 to those who post a picture with a Wisconsin resident outside of a voting location. There are questions about whether or not that is legal. Musk supports the Republican candidate, and others, like Barack Obama and J.B. Pritzker, support the Democratic candidate. It is also seen as a real test of where do voters stand 70 days into the Trump presidency. That's why there's so much attention. And we'll just be keeping an eye on all of those tonight.
All right. Thanks so much, Marianne.
See you later, Marianne.
Don't forget, we will have all of the election results tonight. Marianne will be here this evening. Check NBCChicago.com starting after 7 o'clock when they start to come in, and then catch up with us tonight at 10 o'clock for a full recap.
Now to Decision 2025. It is Election Day in many Chicago suburbs, and two of the contests that we're watching very closely in the south suburbs are the mayor's race in Dolton and the supervisor's race in Thornton Township. Both of those bodies are currently run by controversial politician Tiffany Henyard. Regina Waldrop has covered these communities extensively for years. She joins us live in Dolton now with big changes they're about to see. Regina.
Indeed, Alex. Tiffany Henyard's name not on the ballot for either of those positions, but she is a write-in candidate for Thornton Township Supervisor, a position that she has held since 2022. Decision day for some suburban voters.
Came out because we have to affect change in Dolton, and it's very important.
Vying for mayor of Dolton, Jason House, a Democrat, and independent Cassandra Jordan Hobson. House is a senior trustee who's pledged to implement new standards of transparency and integrity if elected. Jordan Hobson is a contractor who plans to focus on finances and rebuilding the community if she's elected. In the township race, Illinois State Senator Napoleon Harris, a Democrat, Republican Richard Nolan, independent Nate Fields Jr., and Harvey Mayor Christopher Clark. They're all on the ballot. Incumbent Tiffany Henyard is running as a write-in candidate. Here's what some voters told us is important to them.
It's very important that we bring change to Dolton specifically. There are too many negative storylines in this city, and government should be boring.
I felt that I needed to be a part of making Dolton what Dolton should be, and not the laughingstock of what people think Dolton is right now.
Currently holding two powerful positions, mayor of Dolton and township supervisor, Tiffany Henyard lost her bid for a second term as mayor in the primary election. Her tenure in both positions has been filled with drama. She's currently under federal investigation, accused of questionable spending of village finances and retaliation. She's also named in dozens of lawsuits by former employees and business owners. Henyard has denied any wrongdoing. So some key decisions in local government happening here today. And of course, we will have a live report on everything coming up tonight at 10. Reporting from Dolton, I'm Regina Waldrop, NBC5 News.
Regina, thank you. Voters in Wisconsin are also heading to the polls today. It is the first election in a swing state since President Trump took office, in any swing state, actually. The most high-profile race up for grabs is Wisconsin's Supreme Court. The contest between liberals Susan Crawford and conservative Brad Schimmel has drawn millions of dollars in outside money and will decide if liberals maintain control of the court. Today, voters heading to the polls say they are aware of the stakes, both locally and nationally.
We're the purplest of the purple states right now, so it's important for people to come out and make sure their voice is heard.
Our outcome will influence what happens, a lot, in the country.
Among the backers funneling cash into the Wisconsin Supreme Court race is billionaire Elon Musk, who held a rally in Wisconsin over the weekend. And don't forget, we are your source for all of the election night results. Check NBCChicago.com after 7 o'clock when they start to come in, and then get a full recap with us on the NBC5 News at 10.